Hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of BigBird MMA podcast, episode 92, episode 4 Contender Series. We have a special three-way today. You know what they say, it's not gay if it's in a three-way. So we got my man Subliminal coming back, and we're just waiting for peace. So, well, we're not really waiting because the show must go on. So hopefully he will jump in when he's done being late. Like these 21-year-olds, no sense of time, right? But yeah, I'll do the quick overview before the man jumps in. So last week, big regret passing on the Peruvian. I felt like that little squid, Reese, whatever his name was the mush of the week. You know, I didn't want to hammer too much because you had him in your play, and my friend scared me away by playing submission. So that hurt, passing on that guy. Seems as if I pass on the strong lean every week. And then Kike Brito, let's not talk too much about that. That, you know, had a massive bet on no scorecard, so I'm just happy that didn't lose as well. And I had a little bit on him finish. I think any other jobber in the world would finish that. And yeah, then cashed on Reese. So, you know, a tiny little profit. But yeah, you know, big dog, leaving money on the big dog. And yeah, what about you, my friend?
Yeah, I just had Robbie ring. It was obviously a bad bet. Within the first minute when he started throwing as hard as he could, I knew it was. I knew it was over. But yeah, then I passed on Brito because the line got away. So, well, it ended up being a good pass. But yeah, that was it.
Yeah, you can't play money line. That's why I just sprinkled a little bit of KO. Which, I mean, not even KO inside the distance. Even that armbar, Jesus Christ. Oh yeah, Pierce, welcome, man.
Yeah, how's it going, gentlemen? So, are we just breaking down last week?
Yeah, quickly if we can.
Yeah, so I played Robbie Ring as well. That was weird because it's like you watch the tape and it's like all he does is grapple, and then now he just decides to strike with and give Puella the only path that he needs. But cash on Oben Elliott as well, and by decision, and Zach Reese. So other than that, I mean, I know you bet Brito. You got lucky with that no scorecards, but that was a volatile fight, man. Crazy fight.
I mean, everything about it. You telling me I was like, that decision was lucky, dude. Extremely lucky, but I can't wait to fade Oban. I don't think. What are the chances that someone else, you know, has him on death's door and is wobbling, and then the guy just misses all his punches? But yeah, no, good shot. It was volatile. It was either I was flip flopping between Oban decision or Brito KO, and it's just like anything can happen. You know, if Brito doesn't get it early, he's gonna gas and lose a decision again. But it's just like, you know, whatever you think's more likely. But yeah, it ended up being volatile as fuck. But yeah, let's move on. I was just telling Subliminal probably has to be no more than 40 minutes this podcast. Should we get straight into it, my friends?
Let's go.
All right. Dylan Salvador versus Bolaji. So, you know, this is now the first fight, which is interesting. Good fight. This first time taping Bolaji. They both seem like strikers to me. I had Dylan over that Ospan, or the little Kazakhstan dude, Osipov, whatever the hell his name is, Ospanov. I thought that was a bit lucky. I thought he was losing 2-0, and then some dodgy stuff happened. Ospanov just quit from the leg kicks. He's a bit of a quitter, chinny, that guy. But yeah, I mean, I don't remember him being I remember him being better than the tape. He's just the southpaw guy. It makes sense now that I see that he's from NFC. But yeah, he's just like a southpaw striker dude. Can be taken down, kind of shoots for submissions. And the other guy also seems a striker. Maybe someone can correct me if I'm wrong. I didn't do like a background. I see he's training at Extreme Couture. Bolaji's kind of the only guy I'm tempted to play. You know, his level of competition is quite low. But, you know, he will mix in takedowns. You know, they're not the best. His wrestling's not the best. If anything, you know, I have Dylan as a slight favorite, and I don't see much value there. So maybe someone else can add their breakdown. Maybe Subliminal, you go next.
Yeah, I kind of agree that the line's fairly accurate as it is. Dylan, he's a southpaw striker, as you said. He's obviously fought Giga Chikadze and other kickboxing fights. His takedown defense is not good. That's probably the one knock on him. But he's really active from bottom. He's got like good subs. He's actually got like 4 subs and only 1 KO win or something. So he's crafty on the ground. He's been training at Killcliff for the last couple months. But Bolaji Oki is he's also a kickboxer, but as you said, he does mix in takedowns, but they're not great. He's taking down guys on the Belgian regional scene, so it's probably not the highest level of wrestling. If the line was like plus 150 or something, I don't know what it is now. On Oki, maybe I'd be tempted, but I mean it's getting up there now. But yeah, I think Salvador, small favorite, is where I'd kind of line it.
Yep. What about you, Peace?
Yeah, so it's like the same thoughts here. I don't have a passionate take on this. I mean, but I'm seeing Oki's up to almost plus 150 right now. I don't know if I'm gonna end up playing his money line, but I did throw on the point spread for Oki. I think it was like pick 'em for the plus 3.5 point spread. I mean, my thought is just it's two strikers. I mean, yeah, Salvador's got a bunch of submissions, but both these guys have a kickboxing base, and I feel like the GTD at around plus 110. I don't want to bet it, but the fight's damn near favored to go the distance, and I just can't help but think that Salvador can't cover minus 180, especially in a striking fight. It's just going to be like thin margins. So I'll take the point spread because I have a feeling Salvador's going to win a close but competitive decision.
That's a good bet. I wouldn't mind looking into that one. But yeah, I agree with everything. This, unfortunately, how I feel about this fight is how I feel about a lot. But hopefully, talking to you guys, we can find something. Alrighty, a much more exciting fight: Chandler Cole versus Thomas Petersen. I know both these guys well. I mean, the line on Petersen's a bit crazy, but I guess it makes sense when Cole has essentially been KO'd or quit in each one of his losses. He's fought a bunch of nobodies, but I mean, he's got some athleticism for an obese guy. I'll be honest. Like, dude can throw down. Flying knees, spinning wheel kicks. Almost knocked out Jordan Haderman with spinning wheel kick. But yeah, I mean, if the fight gets extended, and this Thomas Petersen, has some power himself. I mean, his KO over Vernon Lewis was pretty impressive to me. I don't think Vernon Lewis is chinny at all, but he just sparked him with one punch. It gave him the old knee bending behind his back KO. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the under here is probably a decent shot, but it's no doubt going to be juiced. Maybe Pierce can fill in the blanks because I'm sure he's already looked at all the bet online props three times since they've opened up. But yeah, I just woke up, so yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, I couldn't fault a dog shot on Cole. If someone can maybe fill in the blanks for Thomas Petersen's chin for me, but I don't think he's chinny, man. I've seen him get knocked out in round 3 by Waldo. But yeah, dog or pass, obviously. Maybe some unders, maybe Cole by KO. What do you reckon, Pierce?
Yeah, actually, I bet Fat Boy here at 6.5. So, I mean, it's plus 550, and yeah, he's gonna win. I mean, the line suggests what's gonna happen, but it's like for a heavyweight, I'm not gonna lie, he's pretty athletic. I don't even know what the path to victory is, but it's like, how is Thomas Petersen gonna cover minus 800? I just can't see how that's gonna happen. So yeah, dog or pass for sure, but the lines came down a lot. It's like plus 400 right now, so I don't know how much value you can get out of Cole, but even the under's chalky. It's like minus 180 for the under 1.5. And at that point, I kind of want to bet the over 1.5 because, I mean, Cole, I don't know if he made it over 1.5 with Deleja, but
he flaked in the first round.
Okay. It was towards the end of the round, though, if I recall correctly. But yeah, I mean, Petersen's probably going to get the wrestling. He's going to get off on the wrestling, but it's like, I don't even know what to do with this fight outside of maybe just a long shot on Cole.
Yep. What about you, mate?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't actually taped Cole yet. I vaguely remember him from The Ultimate Fighter. But I watched a couple of Petersen's fights. His wrestling doesn't seem like amazing, but obviously it's heavyweight, so you don't have to be amazing to kind of have success. But yeah, minus 800 for someone that's fairly one-dimensional seems a bit crazy. But I don't know. Betting Cole just doesn't sit right with me, even though he's like plus 550. But like, yeah, I think this will be a pass fight for me. But yeah, can't fault a shot on the dog.
Yeah, he especially with the wrestling, man, he had some good wrestling against Delija. He's bloody lateral dropped him, which was impressive, and he looked tiny compared to Delija. So if he can shut down Thomas for a bit, the wrestling, and then force him to strike, maybe the KO will come. Who knows, man? Who knows? But that under 1.5, I thought it would be a lot worse. I'll have to look into it some more. I thought it would be, like minus 240 or something. Alrighty, this is probably the best, the highest level fight, I reckon, when it comes to two fighters. I taped this one the most. I really wanted to get a read. When I taped it, Mateo Vogel was minus 200. And then the line started coming in, and then I continued to taping, trying to find the way how to play Vogel. It's essentially, a very, very gritty guy, good cardio, great submissions, elite submission defense. He's all offense, not much defense with the striking or with the takedowns or with anything really. So he's just all aggression, not much defense, which is why I couldn't play him at minus 200. But this other kid, Timothy Cuamba, he's very pretty on the eye, not in that way, just like striking. He can strike backwards as well, and he's clean. He's got good footwork, so I'm sure he's going to be lighting up Vogel at points, which like everyone does. Gareth Armfield was lighting him up. The guy in VFL, the 5-rounder that he beat by split decision. But yeah, he's just what's this kid going to do when Vogel keeps coming? The kid has good takedowns as well, but he's just not really dangerous at all. He's just fighting these horrible dudes. This Cody Huard 4 and 5. It reminds me of Bajo Ali Walsh's first opponent in PFL, the guy with the stretcher earrings and the tattoos, and he looked like he was petrified, and he's just brought out there to die. And Timothy knocked him out late in halfway through round 2, and I was like, that's sad. Should have ran through him in the first round. So yeah, I don't know. I think is Timothy just going to hold on to Vogel? Like a lot of money has come in on him, because he's younger and has the cleaner striking, and Vogel has holes, but it's just he's also been submitted by this Ivan Tanner guy who's he's like a kid in LFA. He's doing all right, but yeah, that was in 2021, and he was submitted in his amateurs. So I don't know, man. I think Vogel is going to be the more gritty guy, but it's also like with all these defensive issues, it's hard paying juice on guys with such defensive issues, unless they're like Talbot, who clearly has an iron chin and is going to keep coming and has the cardio. I guess I lean Vogel, man. I might look at some sub. I think that's his path here. If he goes to decision, might be sweaty. What about you, Peace? What do you reckon, mate?
Yeah, I probably did more tape than I needed to. It's a difficult fight to get a read on. I mean, you said you're interested in this sub, but it's like plus 150 on Bet Online, so I don't even know if there's any value in that. But I do have a bet on this fight. I bet the point spread because I didn't want to pick a side. I bet the point spread on Cuamba for, I think it was like 1.7 for the odds. And I mean, I don't mind that look just because Vogel in almost every single one of his fights, he's either getting hurt or mounted, and it's like I'm sure Timothy can win a round. And I also did play his decision line for Timothy. I think it was plus 350. That's what I got for his decision line. I mean, Mateo's probably the rightful favorite just because he's going to be the guy walking him down. He has the 5-round experience. It just comes down to whether Timothy's going to flake, because I feel like early, I think Vogel's going to struggle with the takedowns and he's going to get pieced up on the feet. But he's so tough to the point where it's like I don't think Timothy's going to find a KO. Probably just would be a close decision because that BFL fight against Olet, I think that's how you say his name, that was very concerning if you want to bet Mateo Vogel at chalk. And I don't know. I just think it's a close fight. You got Timothy. He's been with Dewey Cooper since he was like 8 years old. So they've been building him up his whole career. Yeah, but he's also got a wrestling background too. So I'm curious how the takedown dynamic plays out. He wrestled at Nevada. So I don't know. I don't think Mateo Vogel is a great wrestler, but he's got good jiu-jitsu. So maybe he does, Timothy fucks around and gets guard subbed. But I think he's the value side. It's just like it's plus 130 for Timothy. It's like I don't really want to force a play there, but I will say I think he's the best dog on the whole card, just in my opinion.
You're right. Go on, mate. We're waiting for you.
Sorry, yeah, I agree. I quite like Cuamba here. I haven't played him yet because the line is improving. But yeah, I can't. I don't know how you could play Vogel at his current line, just with like how often he gets hurt and wobbled. I think I watched 4 fights of his today, and he got hurt and wobbled in 3 of them. But as you say, he is gritty. He recovers well, and he's got really good cardio. He's dangerous on the ground, and he's got good volume on the feet. So I understand him being the favourite, but I think with the line, the way it's trending, I think there's definitely value on Cuamba. I think in the first round, I think he's going to have a massive speed advantage. So I it's hard to kind of predict how the wrestling is going to go, but I think he'll be able to stop any takedown attempts from Vogel in the first round and piece him up, and then it's kind of what happens after that. So I like betting dogs where I think they're going to win the first round. So I think I'll probably be on Cuamba, but I'm just waiting to see what the line does.
Yeah, I'll also add, that was just my thought too. I don't have access to live betting lines, but I feel like if anybody likes Vogel, just wait around and then live bet him, because that's like how most of his fights play out. I mean, look at the Garrett Armfield fight. He took an ass beating up front and then somehow came back. So yeah, I don't know how you can bet him pre-fight at chalk.
Yeah. That's as long as he doesn't win round 1, that's the thing. Because this kid hates pressure, man. He hates pressure, and yeah, I don't think he's that good. I've also seen this kid hurt multiple times. I don't know if you guys he got hurt by Wales clipping head kick in round 3, and then obviously Ivan 10. I just kind of broke him with he kept trying to take him down, like he oversold the takedown and gassed himself out, and he seemed to be hurt by the elbows to the side of the head. So I'm seeing a lot of flaky tendencies. So it's like, I don't know. He just likes to be pretty. He likes to be pretty. So it's like, the more technical pretty guy versus a guy that's going to keep coming forward. That Olet fight, that guy's a high level black belt. So he could actually go toe for toe with Vogel. But yeah, I mean, I've seen him, dropped by Blackshear, dropped by Armfield. These guys crack though. We've just seen Armfield knock the dude out in the first round. He's got a lot of round 1 knockouts. But yeah, I think we all agree on the same thing.
I will ask you one thing, since I probably should go back on the tape, but have you seen Timothy on bottom on any of his fights? Because I don't remember if I have.
That's a good question. I'm trying to remember now. No, that's the thing. That's another thing. Not really, because he's just having his way, man. His wrestling is decent. He's having his way, and that's no adversity whatsoever. The one time he had adversity was Ivan Tenner, and he just folded in under 4 minutes. But yeah, that's kind of why I'm leaning. Like, this kid doesn't give me that anything that I'm excited about playing him. He just has to stick and move and win a decision against Vogel, which I guess he can do it. But even Blackshear lost a round to the submission attempts alone. That's the issue. He's so submission over position. It might just be another kike burrito, finish only play, because it might look square to play Vogel's decision. But that last guy, he rear naked choked, right? Drew Brokenshire. He never gets finished, man. He never gets finished. He's 18-9. He's fought Justin Gonzalez, Andrew Yule. Okay, that guy's a jobber. But UFC dude, Chase Hooper, Jeremy Kennedy. He's he's fought a who's who, and old mate, submitted him in the 3rd round. Who knows? But good fight. We'll see. I think the line's going to keep going back and forth. Alrighty. I will let Pierce go first on this fight, just because I'm sure he has a passionate take. Yousri Belgaroui versus Marco Tulio Silva. Go on, son.
Yeah, so I mean, it was more passionate a couple of days ago, and then seeing all the Silva love the past couple of days, I'm not changing my position. I still think Belgaroui, he's my favorite bet on the card. I got 4 units on him at like minus 130. And I guess just with Silva, it's like, yeah, I mean, people think he's going to hit the grappling because you go to Belgaroui's fights and he has struggled with the takedowns in the past. I don't remember the names, but I honestly feel like with Belgaroui, it's just his striking is on a different level compared to Silva. I mean, he's competed with the best of the best in kickboxing. He has a win over Alex Pereira in kickboxing, went to a split decision with Israel Adesanya. And I just feel like his striking is really good in this matchup because you got Silva. Yeah, he's a classic shoot the box guy. He's gonna walk you down, but I feel like the long range, like teep kicks, leg kicks, and even if Silva goes for the wrestling, I don't know because outside of his last 2 fights, he's never really been a wrestler. If anything, that's been a hole in his game. And it's just with Belgaroui, he seems like he's making improvements every fight, and he's been with Teixeira MMA for the past year. And you saw what happened to Poatan as he progressed in his MMA career. Once you put good takedown defense on these high-level kickboxers, they're going to be a lot to deal with. And I guess maybe minus 145, minus 150 is kind of accurate, but it's like, I don't know. I just don't think Silva's the guy to expose him. You need a good wrestler to fade Belgaroui with, because I don't even think his takedown defense is like dog shit. I think it's a lot of it's like his IQ when it comes to the actual grappling. Because in a lot of his fights, he would like get like dominant positions, take the back, and then he just fall off. But I mean, I don't know. I think Belgaroui is a lot more polished on the feet, and I feel like minus 135 is what it's at right now. I think that's a good line for him.
No worries. What about you, Subliminal?
Yeah, I kind of agree. Like, obviously, coming from kickboxing, he's a lot more technical than Silva. Obviously, Silva fighting out of shooter box, so he's got that style that they all have, where they kind of, they kind of take one to give one and walk forward and stuff. But he doesn't really, sometimes he stands at range and he doesn't really go to the wrestling as much as he maybe should because he's getting hit. But he could be improving. He's 28, but I just think he's going to struggle with the distance of Belgaroui. He's obviously 6'5", 80-inch reach. A wealth of experience, and now he's training with Teixeira and Pereira and stuff. So he's going to be improving his takedown defense and his wrestling. And I don't think Silva's, as Pierce said, I don't think Silva's the guy to kind of exploit that. I haven't bet anything here. But I wouldn't shock me if kind of, Belgaroui just kind of picks him apart for 3 rounds or finds a body shot finish or something. So, yeah, I don't know if I'll bet it, but I do think Belgaroui's the side, to be honest. I don't really know how good Silva is. He doesn't really impress me that much.
Yeah. I mean, I can't disagree with that. This Yousri dude, he does seem fluid and obviously the cleaner striker. This Silva guy, it's a whole lot of nothing really in his tape. But I mean, beating Gianco Franco is impressive. Knocked him out. He's got power. He will look to mix in takedowns. And the few fights that I've watched from Yousri, which I did first because my boy P is telling me to check it out, I was just left thinking, yeah, he's a good striker, but he's only beating a really low level of competition. And this Muhammad Ozili, who's 4-2 now, lost 2 fights after beating old mate. He just beat him in a decision. And I also don't think he's anywhere near like some of the other kickboxers we've seen, like Almeida, for example, which everyone was shitting on me for taking a world-class kickboxer. Now we've got this Yousri guy who's nothing like Almeida, and he's also been sparked both times that he's fought Poatan. So his chin is not as good as Almeida's chin, and I mean, he's all right. I mean, I'm sure he's serviceable. But yeah, I think he might have some chin issues too. I've seen him rocked by some of these dudes on UAE regionals. Yeah, I don't know. It's tough. I don't have any conviction on playing this Silva guy either. I mean, just because there's that one fight where he actually got sparked cold by Alexandre Silva, like out cold literally from a 1-2 down the pipe. And that guy, is decent regional. It's tough to tell with these Brazilian regionals, man. They all have like decent records, and they're fighting a mixture of bums and hidden savages. You just don't know. But yeah, I mean, he will mix in takedowns, and his wrestling is trash. But at some point, rounds 2 and 3, the takedowns start coming a little bit easier. I do think he's fought a slightly higher level of opposition. And there's like obviously Franco is probably the best guy on both guys' records. And he's got, like a 6-1 Pedro Oliveira and 6-1 Alberto Silva. And he's going decision and he's, winning. But yeah, I don't know. He's also got a lot of bums on his record too. I don't know. It's a dog or pass just because I don't see much value in Yousri. Like, in another kickboxing fight where he's going to be cleaner, smoother, and Silva's got I think he might have the better one-shot power, and he's got grappling that he will go to. It's not amazing, but he'll go. He's 28 himself as well, so he just seems like a volatile fight. Like, I don't know. If I'm gonna play the slight favorite line, it would be someone like Talbot, who I think is, or like Nolan, which I passed on both, but they felt like levels above and more talented, and they felt UFC ready. Whereas this one, I feel like these guys are probably on the similar level. They're both kind of like regional MMA strikers, and I can't really separate them. I don't really want, lay the juice.
Yeah, I guess it's just it's kind of more so a fade on Silva's wrestling, because it's like if they're on the feet for this fight, dude, the diversity in his strikes for Belgaroui is going to separate him big time. Like Silva's kind of like, I wouldn't say he's predictable, but it's like a lot of like the same combos. He likes that spinning kick, and it's just like Belgaroui. If his takedown defense is good and it's like he sharpened it up a little bit, I feel like this is going to be an easy fight for him to win. But we all have different takes, but I think Belgaroui is this side, my man.
One thing I noticed when taping Belgaroui is that he's really good at reversing guys against the cage, and I think that would be Silva's path. I don't think he's very good in open space with the wrestling. I think he has to drag him like down from the cage, but I think Belgaroui is quite good at defending that. And I'm seeing some minus 120s now with money coming in on Silva, so that's kind of interesting me. So if I can get that, it's not on any of my books, but if I can get that by tomorrow, then hopefully I might have a play there. But yeah,
I will. No, you can finish what you're saying.
No, sorry. No, go.
I will add one of the props that stood out for me on the Belgaroui side. His decision was like plus 400. I feel like that could have some value to it, especially if it's like at range striking match.
Yeah, that's definitely value. Plus 400. That's mad.
Yeah, I was gonna say I might look at that Belgaroui KO, but yeah, I can't fault anything. Like I said, I don't have any strong takes, man. I'll definitely retape it some more this one, even though I taped every single fight. But yeah, I was going to say something else, but I forgot now. Yeah, I agree. I do think he's predictable, Silva. He is predictable. One thing I wrote is he keeps throwing an unset up flying knee, switch knee, and that spinning back kick. But I mean, it's just kind of it's a shooter box style, right? They're just all carnage. There's just no defense, carnage, and can he break this guy? Maybe not. It reminds me of that first week, right? Smotherman, yeah, he's more technical. The other guy can't even fight on the back foot, blah, 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 blah. But it's MMA, man. It's volatile, right? It's not just like, this guy's more technical, so therefore he's a better fighter. There's a lot more things, and I'm just saying why I can't play it, But I could be wrong. The kickboxer comes out here, sparks him. All I can say is good luck on your bets. Alrighty. Main event. Now this annoys me. This annoys me because this is the fight that I have the least amount of interest in, and now they've switched it to the main event. So I don't know. Carlos Prates seems like the better fighter. He's fought the Who's Who. He's fought Luciano, one of the dudes I know from Absolute MMA in Melbourne. Yeah, just tons of fights. Only 30 years old. Seems to have the death touch with every single limb. I've seen him knocked out people with jabs, knees, elbows, head kicks. Yeah, typical. He's got the typical disadvantages of a tall, long Muay Thai guy. He can be taken down. He's not as physical. He's got some nice back takes. And yeah, Ramirez, I just don't know what to say about Ramirez. Like, I think he has one-punch KO power, but sometimes his fights get extended, and then his process is just a bit of, shoot for takedowns, not the best wrestling, which I've said a lot on this card. Calf kicks, and just seems tough and hasn't lost the fight yet. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to play the juice on Prates. It doesn't seem like a fight that I want to be parlaying. I haven't done that yet on Contender Series. It's just don't feel like doing it here either. And I don't know. Maybe if Ramirez gets crazy enough, maybe I'll play him. But I don't think Prates has a bad chin either. So I don't know. Yeah, one of the fights that I have the least opinions on. So I don't know. Maybe you take it away, Subliminal.
Yeah, I really like this Prates guy. Obviously, his line is unplayable for Contender Series, but I really like this guy. I'm hoping he's not another Kaik Brito situation, but no, he's really good. He's really rangy. 78 inch reach. Obviously, southpaw striker, like Taekwondo style, light on his feet. He's got, as you say, dangerous at every limb. He's on a 6-fight win streak with 5 KOs. He's got decent cardio. He can be pressured and he backs up a little bit, but when he gets taken down, he does well to work himself back up. And obviously, he's normally the superior striker, and that will obviously be the case here. Watching Ramirez, I was kind of like, I wrote down he's athletic but underwhelming. I just wasn't really impressed with anything he did. Big red flag was his fight versus, what was his name? It's 3 and 5 guy.
The decision?
The decision guy. He just was really gassed from like 7.5 minutes in and was wrestling him without doing much damage. And yeah, it just wasn't a good, like, he's not going to do that to Prates. Like, he's going to get pieced up. He's going to get hit to the body. Yeah, I just think Prates is going to win. It's hard to, like, he's 7-0 and 5-0 as an Ami Ramirez. Training at syndicates, and maybe he's improving. But yeah, I saw him getting caught by a lot of straight punches in his tape, and obviously that's what Prates does. So yeah, I favour Prates. I haven't actually looked at any props like his KO or anything yet, but his money line's out of the question. But I do heavily favour him to win.
Finish this off, mate.
Yeah, so I played Prates in a parlay with someone from Fury that already won, but he was like minus 190 at the time. I wish I got the opener. He opened a pick'em against Ramirez, which is pretty fucking nuts.
Crazy.
Yeah, but yeah, you said you were looking at the props. I mean, the props aren't even that good either. The KO is plus 115. I did grab some of his submission Prates when it was like plus 850 for a little bit, but I don't know. I just feel like it's a rightful favorite when you look at Mitch Ramirez. It's like he's going to need the wrestle to win because it's like on the feet, he seems really fucked. It's a 6-inch reach disadvantage for Ramirez. And it's like Prates isn't like, he doesn't come off as like a burrito where he's just going to like rush in and gas out. He seems very technical with his strikes. I mean, that's my one concern with him is he is a tad low volume. So maybe don't play him at chalk just because of that aspect. But I really like how dynamic he is. This seems like this dude can find it finish with a lot of different strikes. And I don't know. I feel like the submission prop's still a little sneaky at plus 700 because it's like he's got decent back takes and it's like his submission game's not horrible either. But I guess if you're on the Ramirez side, Ramirez by points is plus 600. That's a decent bet. I feel like if you like Ramirez, but it seems like he's at a massive striking advantage here, and I don't think his wrestling's good enough to get it done. But what do you guys think about the? I was looking at the GTD goes the distance. It was like plus 210. Caught my attention.
That's gonna be sweaty. That's gonna be sweaty.
Is Carlos Brazilian?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's Brazilian.
Then there's a risk that he'll fight like Kike Brito. I just thought I'd add that in because you said he doesn't fight like Brito. Brito doesn't fight like that either on his regional scene. But you never know. You never know. Oh, look, there's a Brazilian flag behind him. I didn't notice that. My bad. Oversight by me. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to scour the props. I've never seen Ramirez really hurt, so that's the thing. You know, go to distance could be good. You know, Prates has a lot of decision. It's just he's gone on this streak of just deading people. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a row. But yeah, he's got a lot of decisions.
He's only been to 3 decisions in 22 fights.
Yeah, that's a lot, dude. Against Luciano was one of them. Luciano ate so much punishment, man.
Yeah, but I mean, Ramirez, I mean, he has kind of, I don't like how sometimes he reacts to shots, but it seems like I don't know, he doesn't come off as a flake. He just seems like he's tough. It's just sometimes he struggles with the head movement.
Yep. I will call it like that, man. It's a card. Like, what else can you say? Yeah, at the moment, I'm contemplating Oki. I'm contemplating maybe some Cole and under 1.5s and definitely Vogel in some sense. I'll retape Belgaroui Silva. I know when I said he lost to this fat dude, that striked with him for 3 rounds. But that Ahmed Sami is actually decent. He's like 10-2 now. So maybe he's just fat and better than he looks. So I'm giving Yousri a bit more credit. And yeah, I mean, it's going to be one of those cards, man. I was hoping talking to you guys would give me a bit more leans, but yeah, we'll look at the props. It's never too late, and then figure something out.
It's a tricky card. It's a tricky card, in my opinion. It's
a good mixture of the favorite guys. You know, they seem like they should be favorites. You know, they're like high level of comp and blah blah blah. And then the guys that might have potential, like for example Oki, they're just fighting nobodies. So it's like you don't know if they can. You know, they might have value, but it's you don't know how they will look against a decent opponent. And then you get that. That's how I feel about all of them. You know, like this kid that's fighting Vogel, like he hasn't fought anyone on Vogel's level once. Or when he did, he got submitted. So it's just like, does he have value? Like tape says he might, but could be a squash match. Who knows?
You're saying this, and I got to bet on every fucking fight tomorrow. But
that's fine, man. You got good lines. It is what it is. Like,
yeah, I will say
you could sweep the card. Me saying this doesn't mean anything really.
Yeah, I will say with Oki, I know you said you're interested in him. I would maybe wait a little bit because it does seem like there's some Salvador love out there, but the limits are kind of shit. But I do like the point spread for Oki. I feel like it's just going to be a close decision where he's the value side.
Yeah, I'll look deep into him. He's just had some stuff last minute. He's doing the intro for the podcast, so keep an eye out, guys. Some good big brain podcast intros coming. Yeah, I'm trying to see this. I actually didn't watch. He split decision loss to Ali Zabian.
Oh, I thought he won that. I thought he won that fight. Honestly, it was really, really close.
It was a Facebook link, and I was like, Jesus, and I just clicked off it. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch that. This guy barely beats anyone. This Ali Zabian, so he just fights close, old mate. Alrighty, that's about it. 36 minutes, not bad. Like and subscribe. Thanks for jumping in, boys.
It's all right. Cheers, mate.
Do it all again next week. Maybe not all three of you. We'll see. See if Pierce gets ditched again. But yeah, the comments here. My bad. Couldn't do the comments. They're all good. Vogel is going to put a pace on him. Hoping Sportsbet puts out a $3 or better sub. Belgaroui neck looks long AF. Asking to be choked. Yeah, I don't know about this guy's jiu-jitsu, man. Chandler Cole was at $5.10 at some point and down to $4.90. That makes no difference to me, man. It's still a big line. Lou Betcha, goddamn Kaiki. Tell me about it. George and Era, we were promised an explosive three-way. Was this not explosive? Jesus. It's explosive behind the scenes. Come on. Alrighty, like and subscribe. Thank you very much. And I'm out. Good luck with your bets.
Cheers, boys.